Welcome back to the Pino Team podcast. I am really excited for our guest today. We've got the amazing TikTok total Star Trek influencer, the best one that there is out there, and I know there's competition in that. The amazing Linda Pages and her amazing glasses and and microphone, I have to say.
What an
So
introduction. Thank you so much.
no problem. And I want to tell you how I found you is that like I use TikTok. My TikTok feed is the most boring that there is. All I flick through is financial news and stuff because that's the business I own. So
Right.
I financial news and business news and all that. But every now and then I'm like, you know, it's like that meme of you freak out when your feed shows you something you were thinking and didn't even say out loud, right?
hmm
And one of the first Star Trek reels I ever saw on TikTok was yours,
Oh, no
and it was
way.
just hilarious. I actually thought about doing this like kind of joke where we change your voice in the beginning because you do so many voiceovers where you have like this is deep Miles Davis voice or something. Um, but what led you into becoming a Star Trek TikTok influencer?
Yeah, so I've loved Star Trek my whole life. I've grown up on it. I don't remember a time when Star Trek wasn't in my life, so it's always been something that I've been kind of obsessive over and that I talk about incessantly. Um, but I didn't have that many people in my real life who were also Star Trek fans. Like I make all my friends watch it and they like it and they humor me and they'll watch it with me, but I didn't have, other than my dad, really many people like friends who were as who love Star Trek as much as I did, and the past year has been extraordinarily difficult in my personal life, and so I was really turning to Star Trek more than ever for to kind of just get through the last year, and then things took a turn for the worse in April, and so in May I got home after the school year had ended, and I was just Star Trek was the thing that was kind of helping me through everything, and I thought, I follow some Star Trek content creators. I'd like to have maybe some more people to talk about Star Trek with, so I just posted a couple of Star Trek TikToks, hoping to find like two or three mutuals, right? Like a couple of people that I could talk about Star Trek with. And they ended up doing well, and they got a lot of really good feedback. And I was like, that was kind of fun. Maybe I'll do that more. So I just started making more content. So it was just the thing I'm already thinking about all the time and talking about excuse me, the thing I'm already thinking about all the time and talking about all the time. I just decided to talk about it online, and it just kind of took off really quickly. And it's something that's been so much fun and stress relieving and has brought so much joy and such an incredible community. I couldn't have even imagined the way that the Star Trek community has just welcomed me with open arms. I didn't even really know that such a community existed within the Star Trek fandom online, and so I'm just incredibly grateful for it. And it was a really great decision at a really awful time. So, yeah,
That's awesome. Like how old are you?
I'm 20.
You're
I'm
20.
about to be 21 in November.
Hey, you'll be
Yeah.
able to have your first drink of alcohol ever,
That's
right?
correct. I've
Yes.
never seen alcohol in my life,
Yeah,
actually. I was
ever,
waiting till I
right?
was 21. Yep.
There you
Hmm.
go. When I was growing, so I'm 44. So when I was growing up, being a Star Trek fan, you were almost a pariah, right? Like
Yeah.
you're Trek, and they could never get a Trekkie, Trekker, right? You're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
Star
Yeah.
Trek, right? Some sci-fi nerd and stuff like that. Today it's cool, and I actually attribute that to as much as he kind of failed the franchise a little bit, J.J. Abrams. He made Star Trek
Mhm.
cool again in 2009. But I wanted to ask, like, when I was growing up, everybody saw Star Trek 4. Okay. Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. They should just rename it, rebrand it Star Trek 4, The One with the Whales.
I was gonna
Right.
say that's
Yeah.
I have to think about what it's called. I'm like, what's the one with the whales again? Yeah.
So
Yep.
I had seen Star Trek and it never just clicked or resonated with me. But then when the brand new episode, which came out before you were born, of Star Trek The Next Generation, the episode Relics was being previewed and Scotty was going to come back. I asked my parents, hey, I know it's up at like 9 o'clock. Can I go watch this episode of Star Trek? Because that guy from the one with the whales is going to be on there. I just want to see it, you know?
The guy from the one with the whales. That's
The guy
awesome.
from and he was Scottish, and my grandfather was Scottish. I was like,
Yeah.
so he was my favorite TOS character. So I'm like, can I can I go watch that? Just thinking I'm just going to watch that one, right? No, that
Nope.
was it. I started every TNG backwards. I bought VHS tapes, and then I got to
Nice.
watch the end of TNG and the beginning of DS9 and the beginning of Voyager as they started, like waiting week to week for stories, watching, them for 7 years and stuff like that. So, what was your
Yeah.
first episode that clicked with you that you knew, oh, this is mine?
Okay, so this is kind of a long answer, so I apologize in advance. But
Take as much
um,
time as you want.
we, my dad had just retired and we had just moved, and I was 6 years old, so everything was kind of new, right? Like new school, new friends, like new house, and one of his retirement projects was just watching through all of the Star Treks. So he started TOS and just went through. So I come home from school one day, first grade, 6 years old, and he just happens to be on the Star Trek Voyager episode, The Thaw. Now, this is the one with the clown. I have to say, I recently watched the Terrifier movies in preparation for Halloween Horror Nights, and I went back and watched The Thaw with my boyfriend last night to show him because it was my first ever episode of Trek, and all I could think about was Art the Clown from the Terrifier movies because their costumes are very similar, and I was like, never mind, I can't do this anymore. This is terrifying. But anyway, the one with the clown. He was maybe like 10, 20 minutes into the episode, and I just kind of like wandered into the living room for no reason. I just wandered in and I was like, I saw Janeway on screen. And I was like, oh, who's that? My dad was like, well, she's the captain. She's the boss. And I was completely infatuated, just completely fell in love with her right away. Wanted to be her, just could not take my eyes off the screen when she was there. And I watched the rest of it with him. And I remember that end scene with Fear, when she says, I'm afraid. And she says, I know. And I just thought that was just the most, like, 6 year old Linda was like, whoa. Um, and then I asked my dad if we could watch another one. And he's like, well, yeah, but you can't start with Voyager. We have to start with the original series. So the episode he chose to show me that night was The Trouble with Tribbles. And I was hooked. I was hooked. That was it. I just wanted to consume as much of it as possible. So from the ages of 6 to 12, I literally watched nothing but Star Trek, the original series, and Disney Channel. That was it. Those are the only two things that I watched for those 6 years. I watched Star Trek TOS over and 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 over again. It was just I just knew from literally from day one that that was something that I had fallen in love with.
That's the
Yeah.
all all the episodes, and I count this in that list. All the episodes that feel like chess games, like good chess games, like the
Yes.
Thaw, like
Yes.
it's they're oh man, it's just you don't even see who's getting the advantage, and you know how it's going to end because we're in a TV series. It's not the end of the
Right.
season. But it's like how are they going to get there, right? Like I go back TNG, I would probably say it's tied for my favorite series with Enterprise, right? I just
Okay.
a big Scott Bakula fan, but
Mm.
all those TNG episodes with Romulans were always guile and deceit and chess games. Like one of my favorite episodes, The Defector, and
Hmm.
it's the one where the Romulan defector is on the Enterprise and they got the other Romulan bad guy in front of them. It's this chess game of who's gonna get who, and oh, I love those because they're just like edge of your seat, almost political drama. You
Yeah.
know, like
It's so interesting you say that. I think my one of my favorite episodes, and my favorite episode of Star Trek will change depending on what I've most recently watched,
yeah.
but it's always going to be Voyager. And one of my all-time favorites is also Kate Mulgrew's favorite, and that is Counterpoint. And it is absolutely a chess game
Oh,
episode. Oh, so good. The acting is so good. It's a great Janeway episode. The story is so good. I loved the callback to it in Prodigy. It's just phenomenal. It really is. Yeah.
do you watch the trivia on Star Trek enough to know what a bottle episode is?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
bottle
yes.
episode where
Give
they
me a
just
second.
use their existing sets,
Yes,
right?
yes, 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 yes.
And the fun part about Counterpoint, it's so good, and it's a bottle episode, which are
Yeah,
usually letdowns, right? Like,
it's so
it,
phenomenal.
oh
Yeah.
God, the acting in that one, like the guy that plays her
Yes. Who, by the
deceptive.
way, is in Big Bang Theory. And I
I
was trying to figure, I
know,
was like, who is that? And I was like, oh my God.
Dr.
Uh,
Gablehauser, Dr.
yes.
Gablehauser.
I was like, holy shit. Every time I watch Big Bang Theory, I'm like, he kissed Kate Mulgrew. This
Yes,
was so weird. Yeah.
yeah, it.
Um, yeah. Yeah, and I think I'm obviously Kate Mulgrew is a phenomenal actress, but that episode in particular, she's just absolutely outstanding. It's just so much fun to watch. Yeah, one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, I when I was getting into Star Trek, so I I got to watch all of TNG to the end, right? And then Deep
Hmm.
Space Nine starts, and I knew really at the top, and I say like TNG and Enterprise might be my favorite, but I just hold DS9 above everything else. Like it became this episodic drama, this war drama,
Yeah.
this political drama, right? And I got to see the first 2.5 years of DS9, which are kind of weak compared to the rest of the series, right?
All right, so I'm on season 2 of Deep Space Nine right now, and I'm getting to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm really starting to really get into this a lot.
But
Yeah.
season two is if you're going to start somewhere, season one's establishing, right? But season
Hmm.
two is where they start throwing Easter eggs out because Ira Stephen Bear and Michael Piller had a plan for the rest of the
For
series. So
Voyager.
they're
Yeah.
throwing well, they're also throwing the Dominion little Easter
Yes.
eggs out, and they're
Yeah.
using Quark. That's the thing. The guy that you have to pay attention to in season two is Quark,
Okay. All right. All right.
right?
I'm on Maquis part 2 right now, so I'll pay.
Oh God, that is such a good episode
It
too.
is a good. It is. It's
Yeah.
really. It's taken me a minute. I feel like I kind of immediately fell in love with the original series. I immediately fell in love with Next Generation. I immediately fell in love with Voyager. I was in love with Voyager before I even watched it. So I didn't feel that way immediately with Deep Space Nine, but the more I watch it, and the more I'm like, oh, okay. I think it just feels so different. It has such a different vibe from the
Yeah.
others, which is not a bad thing at all. I just didn't click with it immediately, but now that I have, I kind of want to go back and kind of just restart from the beginning because now I'm like into it, right? Like I'm
Well, wait till you get to it. My absolute favorite episode of Star Trek, I would rewatch this, and it is in the pale moonlight.
okay. I hear about that one a lot.
Oh, like
Yeah.
it just,
Okay.
for me, like for right now, like when you watch Star Trek Strange New Worlds, I love that they show Captain Pike as a flawed captain.
Hmm.
That
I'm
sometimes he,
not caught up on Strange New Worlds, so I have
okay, I
streaming, but
won't spoil it
yeah.
for you, but there are times he breaks under pressure, which
Yeah,
is real. And I've always
absolutely.
loved Star Trek is really good at portraying flawed people, not
Hmm.
overly perfect people, right? But also, man, the compelling bad guys like Fear in the Thaw. He's doing this because he wants to survive. So you
Right.
understand his need, right? Like you see all these different things. Counterpoint. This culture has a fear of
Yeah.
telepaths that is ingrained into their society, right? And so you understand them when you go. And I'm just going to make some. I know you like both, but I just am not the biggest fan of Star Wars. It's just like, hi, we're the dark side, and we're bad because we want to be bad. We just feel like taking over the world. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, is that the one that changes color?
Okay, so it was pink. I was using it kind of just as a light in my room, and I
Yeah.
went to shower and came back out, and it was red. So I think the blue LED died. Maybe. So I'm gonna see if I can get it fixed. But yes, in theory, it's
Speaking of
bright pink.
Big Bang Theory, when the power goes out and Sheldon offers Leonard a light stick. No,
That's
this
what I
is a
think about.
light stick.
You call that a glow stick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that was what I was thinking about when I got this. Every time I see it, that's what I think about. Actually, if we ever had a power outage, don't worry, I got you. I
What
have the glow stick. Yeah.
what do you think of like Seth MacFarlane's and a few comments on the Orville that many people actually believe that if Gene Roddenberry was alive today, that would be what Star Trek looks like. How do you feel on that?
Yeah. I love the Orville.
Hmm.
I think there may be a season that I have not seen yet. I think maybe the most recent season. I think it felt a lot more like traditional Star Trek than
Yeah.
NuTrek has felt, but I also love NuTrek. I don't think that it's a bad thing for it to kind of develop and change. And I understand the nostalgia aspect and like wanting like, you know, I what I would call like the golden age of Trek, right? Like TNG through Voyager, so like TNG, DS9, Voyager. Um, I understand kind of, you know, the nostalgia for that because that was such a good era and those episodes were so good and that era of Trek was so good. But I also love Discovery. I love what I've seen of Strange New Worlds. I think that's probably the closest to that like traditional Trek structure. I love Prodigy. I love Lower Decks. So I'm missing one. Picard. I did not watch a whole lot of Picard, so I feel like I can't comment on that one too much. But I do, I really do like New Trek. I think the Orville it felt more like traditional Star Trek, and I also really loved that. So I do wish that the Orville was a canon Star Trek show.
Yeah.
And if I have my facts straight, which I might not, so don't quote me, but I believe that that was the kind of the intention and the plan, and then they said no,
Yeah.
and then he kind of did it on his own. So I love that we got it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been great for it to have been canon. I think honestly, I think most Trek fans who watch the Orville kind of are like, yeah, this is Star Trek. We've decided
Yeah.
that this is Star Trek, which I'm completely on board with. It's a great show, and we as Trek fans would be honored to have it be a canon part of our universe.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Like
yeah.
there should be the thing that I'm fascinated about is that there's never been an official Star Trek versus Star Wars movie, you know? And
Yeah, I think it would just break so many laws of each universe.
yeah, I agree with that. And there's probably a
Yeah.
smart person that could figure it out, but especially like I remember when the era of the versus movies came out. So you had Alien versus Predator, you had Freddy versus
Mm.
Jason, you had all these versus movies, and I'm sitting there on the edge of my seat, like all the all the characters are still young enough, even from the original series, that they could participate. Like you've got all these people still alive, the verses, and I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, and there's just never has ever been any talk of it, and it kills me because we both know that Kirk would whoop the tail of anybody yielding a lifesaver, right? Like he-
I don't
he'd do
know.
something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. It would be an interesting fight for sure. I do love the meme where it's like, um, the stormtroopers miss when they shoot at the red shirts, but the red shirts die anyway.
yes, that would be good.
I always thought that was funny because it's so accurate. Yeah, I think it would be cool to see some kind of crossover. The only thing about that is that I really do love both. I've got my little like mini Star Wars Funko Pops over here and my lightsaber amidst all of my everything else I think is actually Star Trek. Except for my Ewok and my baby Grogu over here. But yeah, I love both so much and there is uh I honestly think people outside the franchises probably put them together more than people in like than fans of the franchises, but there's so much like Star Trek is better, Star Wars is better, and they're so different and they have nothing to do with each other and I want like unity between the fans and peace and like and and more just less competition. So I my fear is that a Star Trek versus Star Wars movie would just really fuel the fire there and make it hard to be part of both fandoms, and I don't want that. So I think it would be cool if it was all in like good fun and nobody was taking it too seriously, but I just feel like that would just be it's just encouraging it, right? It's yeah, it's encouraging the division between our fandoms here when there should be less of that, you know?
Yeah, going back
They're
to what
both
you
so
said
good.
about what you said, have you seen all of TNG?
Yes.
I and I
It's been a while. So I think the last time I watched all the way through I was probably 12 or 13. So it's
yeah,
been a minute. But yes, I've seen it.
you could start blind in Star Trek Picard season 3 and be happy.
Okay.
You know, yeah, the Star Trek Picard season 1, to me, my interpretation of it, it's these little Easter eggs spilled throughout a very lackluster season. I mean, it's an okay story.
Hmm.
Season 2 by far the weakest, the the weakest of the show. And then they reorganized. They brought in a guy named Terry Matalas who had been part
Yep.
of the franchise for a while, right?
Yeah.
And they introduced him and they just let him, hey, green light, do whatever you want with season 3, and they stuck the landing. Season 3, I've gone back and rewatched Picard season 3 a few times.
Okay.
It's just if you're a Star Trek fan as a whole, if you like Enterprise, if you like DS9, if you like Voyager, it gives you something in there, and I freaking love it.
Okay.
And
I'll have to. All right. I have to watch all three seasons because that's the way like my brain is wired. So I'm
yeah,
gonna have to go back in the beginning. But the only thing about so I did watch when it came out. I watched the first. I don't remember how far I got. This was obviously years ago, but I watched at least the first few episodes, and I just remember thinking like I didn't dislike it. I just was disappointed in the Federation because, Starfleet's supposed to be good at its core, right? Like they don't always make the right decisions, and there's admirals that are bad and whatever, and there's higher ups that make bad
yes,
decisions, but they find them and they remove them, right? Like they
yeah,
find the bad admiral, they take him down, they expose him, like it's so. But Starfleet at its core is good. Their intention is always to be good, even if they fall short of that. And And so I was just disappointed that they had used the Federation as the villain, and kind of made them into this uh, like corporate gone wrong, corporation gone wrong kind of thing. And that hurt my heart a lot to watch, but obviously that's the point. It just it broke my heart a little bit.
I,
So,
I'm
yeah.
with you on that one. Like I had sold out to the exact same thing. Like, okay, the admirals are flawed, but the core of
Yeah.
it is direct. And then in Star Trek Picard, it was just like all of a sudden, like this isn't the Federation I know. Like this
Yeah.
isn't this
Yeah.
doesn't represent. And then most of the
It's not
time
right.
moving forward, you saw admirals for the most part portrayed as actually very good characters in
Right.
DS9. And um, I mean, just if if Captain Janeway was the mother of Star Trek Voyager, I think there's an argument that Admiral Paris becomes the dad or grandfather of that
Yeah.
Voyager family later on. Like
100%. Yeah.
like
Because
he,
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
that scene, oh, it's just I get a little goosebumps thinking about it. That
I know
this
what you're talking about, and I'm tearing up just thinking about
wait,
it.
well, I don't know which one. I hope we get the same one, but in
When they
that
first get in contact, and he's like,
yes.
"Yes," and then he says, "Tell Tom," whatever it's like, "Tell Tom I'm proud of him," or "I miss him," and she's like, "He heard you," and I just, oh my God, it makes me tear up every time.
Well, and then even like about 20 seconds before that, when you start hearing Voyager come through on the radio, right? And they've even the admiral's been resisting Barclay the whole time, right? And all of a sudden it comes through, and Admiral Paris looks at him and goes, "Go ahead, son." Oh, like, well, my heart will go pitter patter. Like,
It's actually, it's so like I get very emotional over Voyager, obviously. Yeah, that whole scene, or that whole episode, that whole plot, like that whole story of them having contact with Earth and everything that follows that, like getting to, read and write letters to their families, and to inform their families, and to get to, basically FaceTime with them, right? Everything about it is just it makes me cry. It does.
well, I'm going to use this as a segue. So when you watch DS9, you're going to get to an episode called Time's Orphan.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just going to
Hmm.
give you a warning. When you see that next on your queue, you pause it, you don't press play until your boyfriend's next to you
Okay.
because it's a I'm not going to spoil it. It's a tearjerker. It's not a tearjerker
God.
end, but it's one of those like I can't believe
What's
this.
it? What did you say it's called again? Hang on, I'm gonna
Time's Orphan.
Times Orphan. DS9 Times Orphan. Okay,
Have like a
wrote it down.
tissue. Have a tissue. Maybe you're 21 by then. Have a
Oh
glass of
God.
wine. Be ready, right? Like that one. It's like if I'm rewatching DS9, because a lot of times you get to a point where like I don't listen to a lot of music. I don't know if you listen to a lot of music, but
I make music, so I listen to a lot of it. Yeah.
oh, we're gonna get into that
Okay.
because we're gonna talk about other influences here at some point. But
Yay.
but the Star Trek and Big Bang Theory, they're kind of my background noise when I'm being productive.
Me too. I
Yeah,
fall asleep to Big Bang Theory almost, or Star Trek almost every night. Like Big
yeah,
Bang Theory is my go-to to have on. I'm doing homework. I need something in the
yeah.
background. Yeah.
Like a week ago, I just went back on because I bought all the series on Prime, and so it'll just autoplay, right? And like a week ago, I started with season one Big Bang Theory, uh and Penny just proposed to Leonard. So I'm like in like season six. It's been like 6 days.
Just on in the background all the
It's just
time,
playing in the background. I'm like, God,
24/7.
I'm gonna have to replay this in a minute. Like, geez, I'm over halfway through the show already, right?
Damn.
But let's
Yeah.
segue it to because I want to hear what other Star Trek influencers you have, and believe it or not, you are one of three that I watch.
Really?
I will get on to some of the other podcasts, and there's one or two YouTubers where they do real deep dives into fan theories and stuff like that. But the three that I'm looking for their posts when I get on. No, I'm going to say number one is you, which is why I reach out to you
Thank
because
you.
you nail it with some of those memes. We
Thank you.
both we both watch, and you're more engaged with T'Prel, right? Gary
Yes,
Gracie.
Gracie Ann. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
love her.
I there's a lot of people that make music on TikTok, and there's a lot of it that is just absolutely just you want that time back, you know? But that's not hers. I love
Not
her
at
content.
all. Yeah.
I was so proud of her on that public because you can see that she's got some trepidation about public speaking, and she just did that public speech. I don't know where it was, but she posted it.
Yeah, at a con a few weeks ago, she just, yeah, she was phenomenal. I actually just basically just gushed over her for like 30 minutes on Trek recommendations the other day. I think the episode just came out as we're filming this. It came out yesterday, I believe. And yeah, I just talked about how much I love her for like half an hour
Oh
on
yeah,
that podcast. So head over there and definitely give that a listen because
oh yeah.
yeah.
I saw her shout out she gave you, man. You that
Oh
was
yeah.
from the heart. And the other one that I watch is much different. It's JTVFX.
Let me investigate and see. JTVFX.
If you have never seen them, it's a 1 minute video, but I'm gonna freaking watch your eyes watching this if you've never seen them.
Don't think that this is the one that you're talking about. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Are they on TikTok?
I don't think they're on TikTok. They're a YouTuber.
Okay, that's why I was trying to. Okay. I'm not as active in the YouTube scene, so let's see. Um, Most of what you'll find of me on YouTube is from the transporter room.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. Have you seen them before?
I have not, but I have
Okay.
now.
So what I'm going to do, and I guess this is going to actually end up in the recording. Every time I hold up my hand like this, it's like a, hey, you need to edit this part out, right? Because it's copyright and
Okay.
stuff like that. But we're going to watch this. It's only a minute and 24 seconds
All
live.
right. I'm
But
ready. Let's do it.
what this guy does, he takes some of the battles that we've seen and some of the battles that we haven't seen, and he spends months creating them, creating these Star Trek space battles in almost a cinematic fashion, right?
Wow.
And so what happens is the last year and a half has been his Wolf 359 project, the Borg battle,
Wow. Year and a half.
and we the only snippet we ever got of that was 45 seconds in Deep Space Nine, right? Because they didn't do the battle then because of the budget. When they're doing Deep Space Nine, they're like, okay, we've got a little bit of a startup budget. Let's give them some. We want to pay off on it, but we
Yeah.
never saw the full battle, and he's been doing that. And so, yeah,
Wow.
we're gonna watch
Okay.
this for a minute because I want your reaction to it. So I'll put my
Okay.
hand up so I know to record that, edit out.
Oh my God.
He is so good.
This is phenomenal. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, hang on,
Wow, that's
shave it.
cool.
That like you watch it a few times and you start knowing because come on, if you're a Star Trek fan, you're a canon addict, right? Like you just
That's yeah.
like the
Yeah.
little things in there, like in the Best of Both Worlds episodes, the phasers because of what Data did to them and special effects, they had this kind of like not regular orange, it was like this orange is blue.
Yeah.
So he did that in there, and
Wow.
you
There's so
know
much
they
detail.
they
It's
mention
amazing.
in the Best of Both Worlds, they said even the Klingons are sending ships, right? But we never saw that.
Right.
We saw like the hull of a Constitution class when they were going to the debris, so that they're
Yeah.
pulling out. So he threw in this old crusty Constitution class in there, right? Oh my gosh! Like
Oh, that's awesome.
I found what you're gonna binge watch for the next couple days. Like that, he is
Maybe.
so good. But those are
Yeah.
my three. So you watch T'Prel, the podcast. What else? Do you watch any other Star Trek influencers?
God, there's so many. The first that comes to mind is Ellie Littlechild. I love her. Just got to meet in person a couple weeks ago. That was really fun. She's very kind as well, which is always a bonus, right? Like when you follow someone online and then you meet them in person and they're or you get to like kind of get to know them and know that they're a good person in real life as well as their online persona. There's so many, and I feel like I'm blanking right now. But it really has just been a wonderful community to kind of be accepted to, and I've made so many friends. Yeah, it's been, and a lot of the friends that I've made too are maybe like other influencers or the people with followings that maybe make like some Star Trek content, but it's not exclusively Star Trek. Or like maybe people who don't make Star Trek content at all and are secretly Trekkies, secretly nerds. So yeah, there are a lot of them. I feel like I'm blanking a lot right now on other names, but yeah.
What would you say is a good, well, maybe you did this with your boyfriend. Like, what was your first episode of Star Trek you showed him?
So I actually asked a few of my online Trek friends to see like what should I start him with, and they were like, "Well, I would say this, but you need to start him with Voyager. Like you specifically need to start him with Voyager because it's, the thing you love the most and post about the most." So the first episode he watched was Caretaker. Um, we just started from episode 1 with Voyager. But we did not keep going in order. So he's seen Caretaker, he's seen Bride of Chaotica. We watched that for Star Trek Day, and he's seen The Thaw. And then we watched I Have No Bones Yet I Must Flee from Lower Decks
Okay.
because I have my Moopsie over here. And every time he's over, he will hold the Moopsie, and I'm like, you need to understand the kind of danger that you're putting yourself in, um, with Moopsie. So we watched that. So that's all the Star Trek that he's seen thus far.
Well, I went into Star Trek Prodigy just like I need to see Chakotay, right? They got me hook, line, and sinker on that one. Like, we're gonna find Chakotay, and I'm like,
So I
okay,
haven't started season 2 yet. So I have finished season 1. I just haven't emotionally recovered from season 1, which is why I did
yeah,
not jump into season 2 right away.
yeah,
Um, season 1 was really, really good. It really was. I really wish that I either, well, I should say I either hope that they end up renewing it for a season 3.
yeah,
Because I don't, again, correct me if I'm wrong here, because I could be, but I don't think they've like officially canceled it. I think they just didn't renew it and just got lost in between networks. I really wish that they had just gotten their stuff together earlier on that because that show was so good. It was catered towards kids, which is what we need to be catering Star Trek shows towards because that should be our target audience now. Because younger generations are just not really watching Star
yeah,
Trek. So I mean that's definitely the smartest way to do that. And so I just wish that they had like kept it with the same network, that they had promoted it better, that they gave it its moment because it was so good. And not only was it a good entry point into the universe because the kids don't know what Starfleet is, so they have to explain it, right? Like to the audience
yeah,
as well. So it was a great entry point that way, and then also had so much content for Voyager lovers like myself, or just, Star Trek fans in general who are going back and watching it, not because they have kids or because they are kids, but because they just love Star Trek and will consume all Star Trek media. But especially for Voyager fans. And I just wish that they had not completely dropped the ball like they did with
yeah.
Prodigy. And I know that I feel like I can say that because I think all the actors feel the same way.
Oh yeah,
And it's very frustrating because it really was. I mean, again, I haven't seen season 2 yet, but for everything I've heard, season 2 is even better than season 1. And I thought season 1 was phenomenal. And I just wish that it had the potential to have a 7 season run, truly. Like,
yeah.
I really think it did. Characters are great. It just sucks that they, that kind of fell apart. So,
My favorite episode to introduce somebody to Star Trek with is actually the TNG episode. Was it Conundrum? I think that's what it's called. I want to verify that. Yeah, Conundrum. So you might remember it. It's everybody gets their minds erased, and there's a secret alien that's posing as the first officer, and Riker thinks he's the second officer.
oh, no, I don't
Okay,
remember.
so
I
what
like I
happened?
said, it's been a hot minute since I
Yeah,
need to go back and rewatch TNG. I
yeah.
really do.
So I'll put spoiler alert on the screen for everybody on this one since you've already seen it. But see, the thing is, if you go back and you watch that episode, unless you've watched Star Trek before,
Oh,
you
you don't
don't
know.
know that the first
Oh,
officer is a bad guy, right?
oh,
And so
interesting.
you don't pick up on it unless you go back and watch from the beginning. It's like, oh, he's not there, you know? But he's
Nice.
this secret agent on there. But the other part is,
I feel like I vaguely remember this now that we're
yeah,
talking about it. Yeah.
the other part is that these guys are they're trying to use the Enterprise to go blow up their alien enemies, right? And they're so low tech compared to the Enterprise. Like they even say it like one photon torpedo could destroy their entire civilization. How are we at war with these people, right? But you see that what we think of that Starfleet culture of we're not bullies. And
Right.
even though they have no idea who they are, that you see it come out, but that one alien bad guy is like, no, we're warriors. We need to blow them up and stuff like
And
that.
they're
And
like, no, that's not,
yeah,
wait a minute, that's not right.
Wh-
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a
when
good.
when when I first started kind of doing commentary YouTube videos, one of the first ones I did was what I would go back and how I would watch Star Trek: The Next Generation. And I would tell people I would start with Conundrum, finish the series, and then treat everything before that as a prequel. You
Oh, okay.
know?
What season is Conundrum in?
Oh man, I pulled it up right here. Conundrum is, let's see, under Wikipedia, it says it is season 5, 14.
Okay. Oh
So
wow.
yes,
Okay.
so
So
you
you just
get
start in the middle.
you just start right
Yeah.
there and then go for it, or at least start right there and then go back to the beginning. But for me, if I'm introducing someone to Star Trek, I want to start with that episode because man, it's just you don't know what's going on, but you get to know. Plus, the other thing is, I hate watching a series, and NuTrek does this a lot, and it's not a problem, but you get into the series and you never really get this introduction to characters. They just kind of throw them in,
Yeah. They just throw
right?
them into situations right away.
And but that one, there's actually a scene where they bust out everyone's biographies. Like, here's what they do, here's
Wow.
their name, what they do on the show.
You get a
And the cool part is
yeah.
the alien guy's file is in there. So you think he's part of the main cast. And
If
for a
you're
while,
not,
for about
yeah.
half the show, he's a good guy.
Right.
He seems like he's a supportive guy
Right.
and all
You
this
don't
stuff.
know.
And I was like, man, I wish this was my first episode because it would have hooked me from the beginning. I love those twist endings, you know.
Me too.
So that's what it comes.
I agree. Those are that's why I love Counterpoint so much. I read a lot. Most of the books I read are thrillers or have plot twists or, in that vein. So yeah, I agree. I love
Yeah,
episodes like that.
and
Another one that we were talking about, like not knowing who they are, but still having Starfleet values. And I was thinking of the Killing Game from Voyager. It's another one of my favorite episodes, and it's that same thing. It's that um, Tom and B'Elanna are still in love, and
yeah,
uh, I would argue Janeway and Chakotay are still, still a little bit in love, and like everyone is like they're still themselves. Like Janeway and Tuvok still have that relationship. Like he's still her advisor.
yeah,
And they trust each other. Janeway and Seven still going at it. Like they still argue, they still don't get along. It's they are still themselves and they have all so you find out kind of what about them uh is not changed, but kind of what parts of their personality are from like the position that they're in, and then what parts of their personality are just who they are as people, and just what their relationships would be like no matter what. And I love, 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 love that. I really love that a lot. That even when they don't know who they are, they still, they s- they still have the same relationships,
yeah.
and same values.
I don't get starstruck too much. And the reason I'm saying that is I don't get starstruck. Like if I saw Kate Mulgrew walking down the street, I might, that's Kate Mulgrew. That's Captain Janeway. Like I know you. Like you would be,
I'd
it's
be like, oh my
me.
God.
And like,
I'd be like,
but
holy shit.
but
Yeah.
one I would is Robert Picardo because
Yes.
his episodes of Voyager are by far my favorites. Like I will
He's a
have,
phenomenal actor. He really
yeah.
is. Yeah. I met him at SuperCon this summer.
If
Um,
if we're
yeah.
gonna have like a nerd out weekend or something like that, like I'm gonna I'm gonna we're gonna have EMH weekend, and probably my favorite episode of Voyager is the one where they had erased part of his memory,
Yes. Yeah.
and he has to come to terms with that now.
But the fact that he let, one of the Voyager crew members die because he wasn't as close to her as I think it was Harry Kim was the other one.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is Harry, and then some unnamed in Voyager, the red shirts became the
The
you know
yellow shirts.
yellow
Yes.
shirts, right?
Yeah.
Just some unnamed random character of the
Engineering crew member something, tactical or something.
as a Star Trek fan of the randomly changing crew complement of the Star Trek Voyager of Starship Voyager, right? It's
Yeah.
142 this week. It's 151 this week. It's like, are you guys being passenger
No.
vehicle? Like, what is going on? Like, there was
It
one
was
baby, you know?
roughly 150, roughly
Yeah,
150, somewhere around there. I know
150-ish. Yeah,
we got our Voyager schematic over here. We could, yeah. Yeah, Rob Ricardo is a lovely person. He was very, very kind. We got to just my mom and I just hung out and talked to him for a few minutes at SuperCon because he would we just had a few minutes with him and it was great. I was really, really nervous in Star Trek at first and like trying not to show it. And then like as we talked more, I was like, oh, this is like he's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really fun. He told me that I looked like a young Kate Mulgrew, and I'll be riding that high for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything's going off over here. Look at that.
So
Everything. Yeah, it's what
so
happens
that
when I run a business and also try and run a podcast at the same time. Both at the same time. Um, but yeah, like I got to meet a lot of the previous cast members. I got to meet George Takei, Robin
yeah.
Curtis, who played Savick, and
Hmm.
I going back, man, I just met because I was going through Star Trek conventions. But I see a lot of imagery of you at Star Trek conventions, and then there's being a fan and maybe wearing a Star Trek T-shirt and going to a con. There's cosplaying, but I have to say, when I see you go, it's almost like a portrayal. You know what I mean? Which I put my hand down, which I think might be higher than cosplay. Like you are portraying Captain Janeway when I see those pictures of you. I
Thank
mean,
you.
especially when you did Warrior Janeway, like like that one was the I think I commented, "Whoa," when you had the short sleeve. I'm like, "Oh, okay, she's gonna go kick some tail,"
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah.
So I guess I already prefaced this question, but a lot of people that watch podcasts don't know there's a pre-interview, right? I picked that up from Conan O'Brien when he was interviewing Norm Macdonald. They were going out there and Norm just he always broke the fourth wall and he goes, "Is that what we said we were going to talk about?" And and Conan's like, they need to think it's live. Oh, it's live, right? So we talked. So I kind of ruined this, but you broke a lot of Comment King's hearts when you revealed you have a boyfriend, right? How long has that been
Yeah.
going on?
Um, it's been in the works, I guess, since like April, but it's been
Oh, okay.
official. It's been official for about 2 or 3 weeks now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. In our culture today, that means are we Facebook status change yet? I'm just wondering, right? Like, but
Yes,
you
yes.
you already saw it. You said you started with Caretaker and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Like, has he tried to introduce you into any anime? Because I've never watched any.
Yes.
So, okay, are you
Yes.
getting into it?
So I am a little bit. There's so much of it, and it's very overwhelming. But yes, so there's a friend group of four of us. So our best friends are dating, which is how we met.
Yeah.
So uh the three of them had been watching anime. So like my boyfriend got his best friend into anime, and then his best friend got my best friend into anime because they are dating. So he has gotten our entire group into it. Um, and so we started with Attack on Titan. So the four of us have been watching Attack on Titan together, which all three of them have seen all the way through. So they're all just watching for my reactions to everything that's happening. We're still very early on. So I know that I know that there's a lot of spoilers that comes up, and I know a lot of big stuff is coming up. And then my boyfriend and I have been watching 86 and Fairy Tale.
Okay.
So those are the
All
ones
right.
that we have started with. The three of them have they watch Demon Slayer, and so they went the other night to go see the Demon Slayer movie. Um, and they were all very excited about that. So they had mixed feelings on it between the three of them. But they overall said that it was good. It was worth watching. That they're excited for the next ones. So, but yes, they've been getting me into anime. I am now gonna force them all to watch Star Trek. Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
I commented on like they stumped you on a podcast recently, right? Like they stumped you with something, didn't you?
Yes, sorry, my mom's calling me. Um, yes, so I was on I am on Chuck No Pod. You were talking about how Enterprise is one of your favorites. We are reviewing
Yeah.
Enterprise. It's my first time watching it. So as I said,
Okay.
I'm actually filming another episode tonight with them. We film every Tuesday. But yeah, so we were talking about um the Enterprise episode that we were reviewing, and Shaf was like, "Yeah, this is actually when it came out. a lot of the critiques were that it was just way too close to an episode of Voyager. And I was like, episode of Voyager. And I was like, I knew it was familiar when I was watching it. So I was like, okay, maybe there isn't, like, maybe it is an episode of Voyager. And I was like trying to think, and I just could not come up with it. I had to Google, I had to look up the season 7 episodes. Christoph was like, it's from season 7. And then I was able to figure out from there which one it was. But I was very annoyed that I could not, that I could not come up with it off of the top of my head. To be fair, season 7 is probably my least rewatched season of Voyager. There's a handful of episodes that I rewatch
Yeah.
regularly, but it's just too close to the end and it makes me sad. So
They
which is stupid, but I tend to not rewatch it that often. So
also Voyager, it seemed, and even Garrett Wong has talked about this publicly, is that they really rushed tying things together in the season
yeah,
7, right?
it is. Yeah, it is a little bit rushed. Yeah, tying things up. But I there are a handful of episodes in season that I really, really, really love and rewatch regularly. Like author. Uh, what's the one at the very Renaissance Man. So that's literally the second to last episode of Voyager. So I there's a few that I love and rewatch often, but yeah, it's just my least rewatched season probably of Voyager. So I felt a little bit better when I realized it was from season 7, but then I was also like, I still should have gotten that. I mean, I built literally my entire brand over how much I love my Janeway Barbie up here. My this is I know you can't really see it, but this is a Voyager in resin. Um, so I should have gotten it, but that's okay. Live and learn.
Well, I'm so happy right now because like years ago, I went through this phase like I don't need I it's like Leonard. Well, you watch Big Bang Theory, so there's one scene in Big Bang Theory where I think it's the time machine episode
Mm-hmm.
where Leonard is considering selling all his Star Trek and
Yes.
sci-fi memorabilia
Yeah.
because he's trying to get the girl right. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll fully admit, as a Star Trek fan, I went through that. And my big thing on collecting was I bought all the Star Trek micro machines back in the day when they came out new.
Ooh.
And then I sold them, right? And I always regretted selling them for like 15 years. I regretted selling these, right? And so I'm at my dad's house recently, and I'm like, oh man, like I'm gonna be interviewing this Star Trek influencer coming up, and I was like, I told him, I was like, man, I wish I had the micro machines that I still had, and I'd like put them behind me or something like that to display them. And he goes, hold on a second, and he comes out. He at the same time bought them new, all the collector sets, the die-cast metal ones,
No way.
and he goes, you can have them. And
Oh,
I'm like, this is the best gift you've ever
oh
given me.
my
I just need you to
God.
know that, right? And I was like, and I told him, I was like, this was like 2 days ago. I was like, I don't have time to get shelves up, right? Like, but he gave me all the and my favorite ones in there. There's a diecast DS9 and there's diecast Defiant, right?
Oh, that's
Like,
really
oh,
cool. Yeah,
it's so cool. Like,
that's amazing.
do you have a favorite piece of Star Trek memorabilia?
Oh, probably my signed Captain Janeway Duck,
Yeah.
signed by Kate Mulgrew. But aside from that, I have this print that I'm looking at right here that I put above my desk for obvious reasons, but it's the desk of Catherine Janeway. It says Captain USS Voyager NCC 74656, and it's just a print of her desk, which I think is really cool and really unique. And I love that shop on Etsy, and I've looked at a bunch of those prints, and almost bought more a bunch of times. I also think this is really cool.
Hmm.
This Voyager schematic. I love my Moopsie a lot. Yeah, oh, this Janeway Barbie.
Yeah.
It's not an
Vo
actual Barbie. It just looks like a Barbie. So, but
Voyager going to warp is the best going to warp effect in all of Star Trek.
yes, it is.
Like
It's
what
very good.
what I remember watching that intro for the first time when the series came out of 99, I want to say 98, 99, right? And maybe it's earlier. I think it was 96.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it was earlier. I don't 96, 97, something like that.
and the first time you see the nacelles turn
Hmm.
up at an angle is in the opening. And I'm watching like a total nerd fan watching this intro, and you see the nacelles go up. I'm like, ooh, wow, that's pretty, right? And it was done practically because that's all before the CGI. Like, see,
Yeah.
Voyager turned to all computer effects in like season 5, all
Hmm.
right? But here's what I want to do next. And you've already kind of done this. I'm actually stealing this from you because I want to see if any of the answers change. So I'm not
Oh,
trying to
okay.
stump you, okay?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But I screenshotted a story you put up the other day. It was a Get to Know Me Star Trek edition, right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so we're going to do quick word association. So it's all Star Trek answers, right?
Okay.
And I want to see if any change.
Okay.
That's what I want to see. All right. So here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Favorite movie,
Rathacon.
favorite episode,
Counterpoint.
favorite those original scientists character,
Oh,
TOS character.
yes, McCoy.
All right. Favorite show,
Voyager.
favorite DS9 character,
Dax.
favorite Voyager character,
Janeway.
favorite TNG character,
Data.
favorite Enterprise character.
Porthos.
It's still Porthos. Favorite NuTrek character,
Oh, hologram Janeway.
favorite
Oh,
side character.
oh, favorite side character. Uh, oh, Moopsie? Does that count?
You originally said Garrick.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
That also works. Yeah.
Yeah. And that one is my favorite because man, you made me so happy when you gave me that shout out on your TikTok of the favorite one-time character, right?
Yeah,
Like that one was I love that one. I had to engage in that
that
one
was
because
a great idea.
I had my answer at the ready. Tosk. He's my favorite one time.
I was 100% sure you did. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
I was like, I need to because I don't do anything. I'm Facebook and YouTube. I'm not
Yeah.
TikTok. That's why mine's private. Maybe follow me back so I can send you some stuff.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. I will do that.
Favorite villain,
Fear.
favorite theme music.
Voyager.
Mine's DS9 season 3 and beyond. Uh, Favorite vessel,
Voyager.
favorite planet.
Riza.
Okay. The only one I wanted to talk to you about was favorite villain, which
Hmm.
Fear is a great. I just wanted to tell you mine.
Yes.
Mine is Chang from Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country.
Okay, I'm gonna be so honest. I have seen all of the Star Trek movies.
Okay.
It's been a very long time. Like I think I
Yeah.
may have watched the Star Trek movies before we watched TNG. So it's been I was maybe 10 or 11.
Yeah.
So I
The
am due for a movie rewatch 100%. Yeah.
the thing with the original 6 movies, the first is by itself. It stands
Hmm.
alone. Two, three, four, they call the Genesis trilogy. So
Okay.
they're all connected.
Right.
Five is very subtly connected to that. So it's kind of like a post story, but six stands alone. Like it doesn't have any effect. Like you don't have to watch any of the other movies to enjoy six. Plus, it's a political drama. I love political dramas.
Yeah.
It's got my favorite Star Trek battle scene is Star Trek 6. It's the Enterprise versus a cloaked Klingon ship, right? Which they tried to redo it with better effects in Nemesis. That was their theme is that okay, we
Yeah.
want to see if we can do it better. And I'm sorry, Star Trek 6 still is better. Their battle was
Still
better
wins.
than Nemesis. Because Nemesis dropped the ball because they had that guy come in um that had yeah, like Marina Sirtis did an interview on this where like
I
he's
love
not
her.
yeah, he my first celebrity crush by the way, but
Very
uh,
fair.
yeah. I was going through a box and I didn't have a lot of Star Trek memorabilia left, but she sent me a autographed card, and I
Aw.
still have that. I was like, oh my god, I thought I lost this years ago, and I just still had it. So that's going into the memorabilia box right there.
Aw. I've never met her. I hope she comes to a con in Florida sometime.
Oh yeah, but
Be
even
fun.
she mentioned that the director of Star Trek Nemesis is like he just didn't know the series, so you go in and you're like, okay, it's kind of Star Trek, but it's
Not, yeah.
it's going against this canon and it's going against this
Yeah.
canon, right?
Yeah.
So that's when I came up recently. I think I commented on one of your videos with it that after Voyager, I just try to enjoy every series as its own independent universe, even
Yeah.
if they cross connect, right? Because they're coming up with new ideas, they've got new availability and all that, but it's just it's tough to interconnect a 50-year franchise,
Yeah.
especially going back to the special effects of the original series,
Yeah.
you know? And they throw little shout outs like the hologram communicator doesn't work on the Enterprise, so that's why they don't have it. Well, it didn't exist anywhere else in Star Trek at the time, too.
Right.
So you got those little things and stuff like that. But I try to enjoy every series as its own individual thing. Like Discovery broke me, right? It's 4 years of what universe-ending circumstance did Michael Burnham cause this year? Like, okay, you need to lock that woman up into a cage and
I'm
leave
not
her
all the way
there.
caught up on Discovery, but I will say
Oh,
I really did enjoy what I saw of it, and it was not did not feel like it didn't well, it wasn't as nostalgic. It didn't have that nostalgic Trek feel.
yeah.
But I did enjoy it, like as its own show. It definitely I liked that it was kind of something new and fresh and action filled and exciting.
How far
Uh,
into it are you?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember where
My
I started watching. I've definitely seen clips from later on though. So like I've seen some episodes and stuff. So I just need to go back and like I know what happens. I just need to go back and watch the beginning. So after I finish Deep Space Nine, and Prodigy, that's the next thing I'm tackling is watching through Discovery. Um,
I want to tell you my favorite character from Discovery is Captain Lorca.
I
Okay.
yeah, yeah, he's great.
I don't want to tell you why because it does spoil something.
I
And
I
you,
I remember the Captain Lorca plot. Yeah, so I
okay,
definitely watched that. Yeah,
I, spoiler alert, I love good bad guys.
me too.
Like that
It
playing,
was really good.
you know,
Yeah,
they're playing it like Lorca played that for the guys in the cheap seats, right? Like
yeah.
he was just playing the heck out of that
He's a
character, having
phenomenal
fun.
actor, and it kept blowing my mind every time I remembered he was also in Harry Potter.
Yeah,
I
so I'm
was
like
like, what?
watching this, and I'm like, this is the bad guy from the Patriot. Like I'm waiting for him to turn evil, and so there's these little moments where he's nice and all this stuff. I was like, it's
I'm not
Jason
buying
Isaacs.
it.
He's Jason
He's
Isaacs.
evil.
He's got to be bad. Like you
That's really
cannot,
funny.
if
Yeah,
anything, give me an
he was
evil version of
phenomenal.
him, right? And then they
Hmm.
go into the universe, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get an evil Captain Lorca.
You
Well, I
already got an
did.
evil Captain
I got an
Lorca.
evil Captain
Plot
Lorca. Like I
twist.
was so happy with that one. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's a
But
really good
yeah,
one.
so I'm gonna guess your favorite class of starship. Is it the Intrepid?
Guilty
If
as
you had to
charged.
if you had to pick a second one, which one would you go with?
I guess Galaxy class.
Galaxy class?
Yeah.
My, mine's the one right before that, the Ambassador class, which we never just
Mm,
really got a good view of. I I think I
yeah.
love it because it's easy to draw. It's perfect
It's easy
cylinders.
to draw.
It's a perfect round hall. It's a real
Uh,
saucer section, right? I always
I
wanted to
just,
see more of
yeah.
that. And that's
I think
what,
the Galaxy class is a basic answer, but it's just, it's like the classic Star Trek ship. Yeah.
and I've never had that guy that I showed you, that JTVFX. I've never had
Mhm.
any communication with him, but I think his favorite's Ambassador, or at least it's up there because he injects a lot of Ambassador class in there, and I really, really like that. Okay, I wanted to show you this.
Okay.
So I don't always do AI generation for I told you I was going to do a live reveal on this one. I
Yes.
I don't always do uh, AI generation for thumbnails because I just go with whatever thumbnail
Mhm.
picks it, because if they're going to find you on YouTube, they're going to find you, right? But for you, I'm like, okay, I think I've got an idea for this one. I will say the mustache just came off, so that's why I look a little bit different in this. But this is the thumbnail it came up with. I think you're gonna love it. Look at
Oh my God. Oh my God.
this.
That's crazy.
I was like,
Wow.
okay, that's happening.
Wow.
Does that have Linda Page's approval?
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah,
Uh,
that's awesome.
it only took like 5 prompts to get it right because it was totally just making Janeway with glasses. Like before that, and I kept having to tell it like, no, this is for a thumbnail, podcast, YouTube. Yeah, it's like me, I'm having a fight with ChatGPT. Please make this correctly.
Yeah, I know
So
I gets a lot of pushback. I I am in a STEM major and I take a lot of STEM classes even just outside of my major and well my professors will often so it's a big conversation in our fields and everyone's field right now, but how do we incorporate AI into our fields? How do we incorporate it into the classroom? And um something I had a physics professor tell me last year has changed the way that I study. She said, give AI your readings. Don't just ask it about the topic. Give it what I give you
yeah,
and say, explain this to me in terms of blank. So I will take my readings or like my PowerPoints or notes or whatever from class and I will give it to ChatGPT and I will say, explain this to me in terms of Star Trek Voyager. And
yeah.
it will. And that is the best way I have ever in my life. It is such a good tool. I'm definitely pro AI as a tool, but of course I'm also pro human artists and writers. Like there are some things that I think AI should be heavily regulated within, but using it as a study tool is just has been awesome as a partner, right? And a tool, not as a do it for me kind
Yeah.
of thing, because you're not getting anything out of it then when you do that. But just yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, one of the things I want to bring up that's completely off the top we've talked about is, and I just saw this like recently. Like I was just scrolling through because I'm going through and okay, let me just go internet stalk all her freaking posts because I want stuff to talk about on the podcast, right? And one thing I noticed, at least to me recently, you started talking about your hyper flexibility, and
Hmm.
then the trolls in the comments, well, you're hyper flexible, but look what I can do with my thumb, like or whatever, right? What do you? Yeah, like
Yeah.
that. I didn't catch what because you said you've got medical stuff you're facing, right?
Hmm.
What are you
Yeah.
facing, and how does that flexibility affect your life?
Yeah, so I'm hypermobile. It's a symptom of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome,
Hmm.
or hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And another symptom of that is another condition called POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And both of these are on a spectrum. So some people have, these conditions so severely that it impedes sometimes their ability to function in day-to-day life.
Yeah,
Some people have these conditions but never even get diagnosed because they have no symptoms. And there's, a lot in between. I would say I'm roughly in the middle of that scale. There are definitely some things that I have a difficult time doing there. I have bad days and I have good days. So yeah, I'm kind of in the middle there. I drink a lot of liquid IV, drink a lot of electrolytes, always have a salty snack somewhere nearby. I eat a lot of salt and vinegar chips because salt helps alleviate some of the pot symptoms. As far as hypermobility and Ehlers-Danlos goes, I my joints do hurt.
yeah,
It's a fact of life. It doesn't impede my mobility too much most days. I do everything that I can to help myself, right? I sleep in compression gloves. I have tape that I will wrap my knees or wrists in sometimes. I wear leggings a lot because that helps. The compression is very helpful. So if you see me at a theme park, which I am often at, Disney or Universal, I'm probably wearing leggings. Sometimes I'm wearing shorts, but most of the time I'm wearing leggings and it's for the compression. That helps me a lot, having really good shoes. Just knowing, just listening to myself when it's like, I need to take a break. I need to stop, moving. I need to take a break. I need to lay down. So, yeah.
I with the compression socks, I got it from a YouTuber named Max Miller. He runs the Tasting History channel,
Hmm.
and he suggested wearing compression socks when you travel, which I had never done before.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I tried that one time, and then it was like, okay, anytime I'm traveling, I'm packing two or three pairs of compression
Yeah.
socks now. Like, um, yeah, I'm with you. Now, what all that you're facing obviously comes with its batch of challenges too,
Yeah.
but maybe some advantages as well. Is there any advantages to like the hypermobility, hyperflexibility that you've
Mm.
experienced?
That's a great question. I was diagnosed with it later. I was 18 when I got
Okay.
these diagnoses, so I was definitely like maybe later in life than a lot of people get this diagnosis. I do kind of think of it as a superpower. I think of myself as Elastigirl a lot from The Incredibles.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely how it feels. I will say it's a really cool party trick. The only thing is if you bend your joints in places they're not supposed to be, then they're gonna hurt the next day.
Yeah.
And so there's that. But it is a cool thing to freak people out with, like, hey, look what I can do. Um,
Oh my gosh.
it freaks people out for sure. Um, I Advantages. This is a kind of a stupid one, but there are some roller coasters that I'll go on and they'll make most people dizzy. And there are a couple, like sometimes if, especially if I'm having a flare up or a bad day, like I just know like I'm gonna go on Velocicoaster. I'm just gonna have to sit down for like 30 minutes after. Um, but sometimes like when I ride roller coasters, especially ones that go upside down, it helps so much with the blood flow and like it because it flips you over and it gets it's kind of feels like a reset and I'll get off and I'll
Yeah.
feel great. So everyone else will be dizzy and everyone else will be like everyone else will be sick, and I'll be like, I feel great. Let's go to the next. Let's go. Oh, Jesus, let's go again. Like, let's go to the next one. So that's kind of a cool, like, random advantage sometimes. Not
There
all
you
the
go.
time, but sometimes that's a cool thing.
And I wanted to ask this, like, let's say you get a good night's sleep, does the
Mhm.
hyper flexibility does it impede waking up in the morning or does it help in the morning?
Neither. I mean, obviously, if I wake up and I'm in a flare up and my joints hurt, and then it's harder to get up because you're in
Got
pain,
it.
right? But yeah, I think the worst thing about sleeping, or the way it affects sleep the most, is the reason I sleep in the compression gloves is, like, obviously when you're unconscious, you're not controlling like what you're doing with your body or where your joints are going, so you just don't want to wake up and your wrist is like backwards and you're like, oh, good,
Yeah.
because you fall asleep on it in a weird way, or you like roll over in a weird way. My right after I got diagnosed, my mom would, like, come into her and whatever, I'd be doing homework, and she'd be like, why are you sitting like that? Like, that's so bad for you. And I'm like, I don't know that my legs aren't supposed to bend that way. Like, I don't know. Like, I've 18 years of my life, my joints have just moved this much. I didn't know that they weren't supposed to do that until 2 weeks ago. So you just have to tell me, like, that it's not that I think it's easy to look at that and be like, well, obviously, like, your fingers aren't supposed to bend that far back. Like, I didn't know that. Like, how would I know that? My
Right.
joints had always done that. So that wasn't something I was aware of. So like I used to sit like a frog a lot, like sat like that.
Yeah.
Like that
I
was
know
something
exactly.
I
Yeah.
had to stop doing. So yeah. So even to this day, like sometimes I'll be hanging out with my close friends who are, very aware and well trained on how to manage my POTS and EDS if for whatever reason I can't, or it's difficult for me to. And they'll be like, Linda, like, your leg is in a weird position, or like your wrist shouldn't be like that, or like whatever.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
The God, I was going to ask this is that, to switch topics for a little bit, like you're talking about being a college student and totally is that your college dorm room where you're at right now?
Your audio just went out. Hold on, hold on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that your college dorm room where you're at right now?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're in college right now. What are you studying
Mhm.
for?
I'm a physics major and a math minor. I'm taking my first computer science class this semester, and I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. I'm hoping to take more comp sci classes as well.
How annoying did Big Bang Theory get after you started studying physics?
So, last year I was working on a assignment for one of my classes, and I had Big Bang Theory on, and I looked up, and I the math that I was doing was very similar to the math, and it wasn't nearly like as advanced. It was just like a baby version of it, but I was like looking at the math, and I was like, holy shit, like, I'm in trouble. Like, I have now crossed that line. Like, I'm now looking at this math and Big Bang Theory and not understanding like what it means, obviously in the context of, because they're it's but but having a general idea of like what they're doing and like what the math is, and I was like, oh, I'm screwed. Like,
But
past
I,
the point
I
of no
ne
return.
there's no way that I'm comparing my almost fan version study of physics to your amazing education that you're getting. But I'm like, you know what? I want to understand some of this stuff, right? So I start studying it, and this is what I mean by annoying in Big Bang Theory, and hopefully you'll see this. Okay, so there's the episode where Sheldon starts becoming a busser at Penny's job because he's focused on a problem,
Oh,
right?
and he's like, there are waves.
Right. There are ways.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at it like, oh my God, he had this amazing revelation. But if you start studying physics, that problem got solved 40 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like old science. I'm like, oh, I thought Sheldon was
Well, because
super
it's not,
smart.
well, because it's not meant to be like, well, it's obviously not meant to
Yeah.
be, it's meant to be entertaining. Its target audience is not really physics. I mean, it's like nerds, but maybe not
Yeah.
necessarily like physicists. So, they can get away with stuff like that. And it doesn't bother me too much because, it's a TV show, but I do, yeah, sometimes you'll catch a bleed and you'll be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Well, that's
Um,
I do like that in Big Bang Theory is that all the equations you saw, like they brought in somebody as a consultant to
yeah,
make with
I do
some
appreciate that.
exceptions for entertainment value, but for
Yeah.
most of them, I love that they had was it, Ira, the guy, host of Science
Ira Glass.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought him in. That's a guy I'd love to meet too. He's just
Yeah.
just a good guy.
Yeah.
Um, so before we get to the end, like a lot of well, I wanted to ask this about your college. Okay, so you physics, are you going to be a researcher in the future? Like, is that the goal?
I don't know. I did a program with NASA last summer that I absolutely loved. Got to meet and work with some really amazing people. Um that was a virtual program. I've looked into a lot of different options for potentially grad school, for just maybe going straight into the workforce. I'm not 100% sure. I know that I want to end up in the space industry for obvious reasons, because that is where my heart is. But there's just so much. There's so much to discover and to learn about and to kind of try out and see what I like. So in the next couple of years, I'll get to take some more electives and kind of see what part of physics is really calling to me, what really what within physics I'm especially passionate about because I just feel like I'm passionate about so many things, and even just within physics, passionate about so many things. So I'm hoping that I can find something that stands out above the others. It's like this is it, this is the thing, for sure. So I don't know, it
If
might be
you
astrophysics. We'll see.
if you had to pick an area right now, what do you think it'd be?
The past like 6, 7 months, it's been a pretty close tie between astrophysics and medical physics.
Rock on.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
And let's say I mean, you're starting to get a great following in TikTok, right?
yeah.
Like, is is there a possibility where if that thing takes off to the point where almost your physics career would be a detraction from it, would you go the influencer route, or are you passionate enough to continue to follow physics?
Uh, I love science and
Okay.
I'm studying physics because I love it, not because there's pressure from my parents or because I was actually a theater major for the first 6 weeks of college and then was taking an astronomy class, and I went to the professor, like 3, 4 weeks in and I was like, I love this so much, and this is reminding me why I fell in love with Star Trek and with science fiction in general, and why I've loved space my whole life. Like it's because I want to be part of it, and I'd thought about physics a lot in lower middle school, high school. I just never had a good experience with science in a class, and that sounds like a dig at teachers that I had, and it's not. I just didn't have a good experience. Like it was always like a class I either didn't really enjoy or that wasn't super well organized or whatever. So I just didn't have that moment where I was like, wow, this is so much fun. I love this in a classroom setting. I loved learning about it on my own. Both my parents are scientists, so I definitely grew up around it, but yeah, there was absolutely no pressure from anyone else in my life. It was just, I loved it and I wanted to know more about it. I wanted to study it. So I don't see myself, I don't see a world where science is no longer part of my life. Now, what does that look like? I couldn't tell you. Like, if is there a world where I end up doing media full time, but part of what I do is some kind of science communication or I get to like talk about science or teach people about science, then yes, that's absolutely a world where like my job full time is something to do with media, but science is incorporated into that in some way, shape, or form. So I'm not necessarily working like as a researcher or as an engineer or as a physicist, but I get to talk about it and it's still part of my life and keep up with the field. Then yes, but is there a world where it's not part of my life at all? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know obviously people can find you on TikTok. They can find
Hmm.
you searching for Linda Pages.
Yep.
I also think if you're on TikTok looking for, I think if you just type in Star Trek, she'll be in one of the first three
If
reels,
you look
you
up
know?
Janeway, Star Trek
Oh
Voyager,
yeah, Janeway is just going to be you. You are just you're soaking up that
Tuvix.
Star Trek influence there. Are you doing any projects outside? Are you doing anything? What kind of projects are you doing?
Yeah. I'm a co-host on the Transporter Room, which has been a lot of fun. We actually have a segment called Trek Tech that I've been hosting, which has been really exciting. That has not come out yet, but stay tuned. It's coming out soon. I'm a co-host on Treknopod, where we are watching Star Trek Enterprise, as I mentioned earlier, and reviewing that, and that's been a whole lot of fun. Um, I have some music coming out at some point.
Are you
So
editing
stay
and all
tuned.
doing it all yourself?
No, I actually work with a very talented producer and a record label. Um, so I've got that behind me. It was a really incredible team of people. So
Well,
yeah.
you've got a brand behind you. I'm excited to see this. I look when you get those 10 million followers. I mean, just remember the little guys. Just remember the little guys, right? Like that's exciting. Like I know you go to a lot of cons. Do you think you're going to have any appearances at cons coming up?
Oh God, I don't know. That would be I don't know. I don't think I have enough of a following for that, honestly. That's a way in the future thing. Maybe I think it'd be really cool to play. my music at a convention, like to have a little have a set. That'd be really cool. But that's like a way far in the future, like years in the future kind of thing. That's not a realistic like short-term goal, but long-term one for sure. That'd be really cool.
Well, well, now that all our phones are listening to us, when all the Star Trek Con advertisements start showing up on my feed, I'm going to say you need to have a forum for Linda Pages on there, and I'll tag you on there. See, get the talk going. I would travel to go see that one, right?
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't care who's there. We'll go have a great time.
Well, honestly, I went to Florida SuperCon and then I went to Star Trek Orlando and I think my next con will probably be MegaCon unless there's like another small one somewhere in Florida that I end up going to last minute. And then my plan is to be at STLV next year.
Oh,
So
nice. Well,
yeah,
I
that's
want
the
to
plan.
plan on going to that one, so hopefully I get to
Yeah,
see you there.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, I
There's
don't
a
know, I don't know if I'll be in a uniform per se. I actually thought about finding like a Star Trek uniform T-shirt to do the interview with, and I was just like, none of them could show up in time, So
I have all of my Star Trek t-shirts and stuff. I really need to do laundry, but I was at Pilates this morning and it was really late, so I just threw my Halloween Horror Nights sweatshirt on
hey,
over.
we're both wearing the long sleeve black.
Yeah,
We got the
you
memo
know,
today.
the black hoodie. I've got the like the all the houses on the back.
Oh,
From
nice,
this is what is this from last year? Last year.
nice.
Um, but but yeah, my plan is to be SLV. I will probably be in cosplay for some of it, but not all of it.
Yeah,
So I was maybe 11 or 12 when I found out that conventions were a thing, and I was like, I can go meet Star Trek actors? Like, what do you mean? So I found, of course, immediately, tracked down Star Trek Las Vegas and was like, oh my God. So I went to my parents and I was like, can we go? And they were like, we will take you to a con, but we probably shouldn't go to Vegas till you're 21. Like, what are you going to do in Vegas before you're 21? So I was like, okay, but that means when I'm 21, you'll take me. And they were like, yeah, okay. And lo and behold, decade later, and I'm like, I'm turning 21. We're going to STLB, and it's the 60th anniversary. Like, we're going to STLB. Remember what you said? They're like, all right, fair enough. So we are going as a family to STLB.
and just in case one of your followers is watching this, like in a minute, we're gonna stop the recording and talk for a minute afterwards, and leave all your viewers wondering what the heck did they talk about, right? But um, if somebody doesn't have enough Linda Page's content in their life, like there's TikTok, are there any other venues that you're on that you do content creation on?
I have platforms at Linda Pages on pretty much everything, but I'm really only active on TikTok and Instagram. Both.
Where's your music going to be?
It will be everywhere.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it'll be
That
distributed everywhere. So that'll be, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
exciting. I'll use that for some of my reels there as soon as it comes out. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
you know what? I don't think I can say that. Never mind. There's
Don't
gonna be
say it.
there's more than just one song coming.
Ooh, Linda Page's album. Are you allowed to say an album name or no? If you can't, it's okay.
Not while we're recording.
No, not while we're recording. Oh, we will get that in the post interview. No one
Yeah.
will know. I'll get.
I'll give you a little sneak peek maybe in the post interview, but not
Oh,
maybe not while we're recording. But
that.
I will say that the it's this is an exclusive just for your podcast here, but we I've been making music with the same producer for about oh God, I guess it's been like 4 or 5 years now. And so it's just music we've made over that time, and all of the songs have like some of them are very personal, some of them are were based on things I'd read or seen. So we just had kind of a bank of these songs, and so we've divided them into a couple of different things. And I love how it's worked out thematically between the
Yeah.
projects that we've divided everything into. I love what we've worked on. I love all the songs in really different ways, and they mean different things to me, but they all mean a lot to me. And I'm just really excited to release it. I've been getting some final drafts of some things, and I tear up every time I get a new draft of a song that we've worked on because it's just it was a childhood dream of mine to just write music. I've been writing my whole life and just writing lyrics, so to just hear it come to life is just it's really really exciting, and I'm really excited to
Oh,
share. And I never in a million years could ever imagine that I would actually build any sort of following at all from posting about Star Trek. So the fact that when I release music, I already have this community of people who have been to this point just incredibly supportive and kind of everything that I've done. I I'm really really excited to get to share this with a community beyond like my friends and family. Right? So I can't wait. I really hope that you guys like it as much as I do.
Well,
Yeah.
let me break everyone's hearts right now because we're going to do this live premiere Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, right? And
Hmm.
you're going to be able to engage with some of the followers that follow you over and go check out
Yeah.
the podcast, which I'm really excited for. I'll be in the comments there too. I'm just excited for that one because you hear those Star Trek actors that say, I don't really like to go back and watch my own stuff, but I love that live premiere on YouTube. I'll watch my whole podcast for the live premiere and see the comments and stuff like that pop up. But I have had just an amazing conversation. I knew we were going
Yeah.
to nerd out. I hope this isn't the last one. I hope we do some milestones as you get to, because how many
Yeah.
TikTok followers do you have right now?
It's a great question. Let's look and see. At the time that I am checking right now, I have, let's find out. 8,794. This is what my account looks like from my end. Yeah.
First, we got to get you to 10, 25, and 100. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, 10 is my 10 is the next one that I don't like that I'm super excited to hit because that I get more benefits from TikTok after I hit 10. So that's like I can
Yeah.
make playlists and all this, so I'm excited about that. So, um yeah,
Well,
I probably could have hit it earlier, but I kind of stopped posting consistently since I got back to school. So, because like life and I'm busy now. So, yeah.
I
Yeah.
I will tell you on my TikTok feed when I open the app, I told you all I watch is like financial businesses in TikTok. That's why I use on TikTok. That's why mine's like private because I don't really post stuff, right?
Yeah.
But now my algorithm has me figured out. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not just a Star Trek. It's always Linda Page's first. Every time that I
Really?
log in, yeah,
Uh,
because I comment on most of yours, right? It's like, oh, I got something to say
yeah.
about this, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so every time I log in, even if I just go to who am I following, it's still Linda Page's first, even though I follow like 25. It's hilarious. So yeah, but
Fun. Thank you.
I can't thank you enough for jumping on with me for this
Thank you
time.
so
Like,
much for reaching out. This was a great
yeah.
conversation. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah. So what I'm gonna do is okay, give it a pause and then